Firstly, you can come. Do you want?
I see it.
Okay, oh, cool. Because you know you're tiny. All right. Secondly, so once you know that you're centered left and right on the table, you want to get the distance. So remember in this room when we were shooting tabletop, we were shooting 42 because that distance is for the bucky, right? So now we're going to just go ahead and set it for the set it at 40 because we're going to be using the bucky. Okay. So once you're centered, you know this line is centered to the center line of the bucky. You're at 40 inches. You know that you're centered transversely on the table. Don't move it anymore. Okay. You're perfectly centered. So, you know, set your collimation, and for whatever part you're shooting, use the 40-inch indicator here, and then just rotate the knob until you see the number that you need to. Okay. That's this room. In the other room, when you detent transversely, it'll actually lock. You'll feel it. Okay. And again, in the other room, there's two measuring sides, right? You want to use the side that says table and make sure that you're at 40 inches. Okay? So we'll start out with the AP humerus. In the notes, it talks about supinating the hand or pronating the hand for the lateral. Again, because the shoulders tend to dislocate on these, we're just going to shoot it in its natural position. Okay, the only thing we'll probably end up doing is we will elevate the humerus slightly so that it is have a sponge. Sponge. That will show. Have a small sponge.
Like a sun slider.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. You might want to elevate the humerus a little bit so that it is on the same plane. Right, and in the notes, that's all we talked about, is everything on the same plane. Okay? You want to make sure that the epicondyles are going to be pretty parallel. Okay? You just put your hand on the antecubital fossa, and if your finger is flat, then that's pretty close. Okay? The next thing that you have to be aware of when we're shooting in here is that because the light field is hitting the body at a distance from the bucky, even if it looks like you're going to clip, as long as you're opened, you know, don't try this. Don't open it wider so that your light field goes all the way up. Because what happens there is, if you center it and it still looks like, if it looks like it's in the light field, when you pull out your cassette, you're actually missing it, right? So you want to make sure that once you set your collimation, just trust that it's accurate, okay? And it will be. So what you want to do for the AP humerus, you want to, in the notes it tells you to put the top of the cassette 1.5 inches above the humeral head. So if the humeral head is here, and you place the top of the cassette 1.5 inches above that, that's just about the level of the shoulder. Okay. So someone want to grab me a 14 boy? I was going to do the demo in the other room. Right. Oh well.
So this one the SID is 42.
40.
40?
There was only 42 when we were shooting tabletop in this room, right?
So this 40 and the other room is 40.
They'll both be
The other
40.
one shows the bucky too.
If you see that on the black part, there's like a brownish.
This one only has one, that's why we.
It's like a gold
You
chart.
could kind of, yeah, you kind of barely see it.
You want the digital or?
It doesn't
Okay.
matter. This is just for we're not gonna shoot. All right. So if you put the top of the cassette about 1.5 inches above the humeral head, which is here, right about midpoint through the shoulder, so it's right about the top of the shoulder itself, right, the surface of the shoulder. So if we have that there, and we know that this is centered, we know that this is centered to this, it looks like we're gonna clip, okay? It won't, all right? And then you're gonna center at the mid-humerus. I'm gonna move the table. I'm gonna move the table. All right. And sometimes the patient, okay? So right about there, okay? So if you bend at the elbow, you see that we're still going to get the elbow joint, right? It's still within the light field. and then the top of our shoulder is also within the light field, right? Then you're gonna put your marker anywhere here in the light, and then you're gonna shoot it, okay? There are breathing instructions for these, so I expect to hear those. Like last unit, it was just hold still, it's fine, but on these ones, if you look at the comments in your notes, there are very specific breathing instructions. So I think for the AP humorous, I believe it's suspend respiration. So I wanna hear hold your breath, okay? And that's it. That is the AP humorous.
Can we say like breathe in and then hold your breath, don't move, or no, just hold your
Whatever,
breath?
whatever, as long as there's some form of hold your breath in there.
Okay.
Don't forget to shield.
Okay.
Okay? Questions? Concerns? 14 by 17 lengthwise. Okay?
And this one we have the patient to look away from the ray.
That's possible, but we're not going to do that with this. But with the shoulder, that's more important. Okay? The next one I'm going to show you is AP shoulder. We're going to do a 10 by 12 crosswise. So on that one, the notes say that you're going to center 1 inch distal to the coronoid process. It's kind of hard to palpate that. Are you okay? It's kind of hard to palpate that on this because there's some padding. What you can do is you can find the midpoint of the clavicle and then center about 1 inch below that. So here's the sternoclavicular joint, here's the AC joint, the midpoint of that, and then 1 inch distal to that. So that would be right about here. This is the shoulder. Okay. At some of your facilities, they're going to want you to collimate tightly. At other facilities, they're going to want to see all the way from the SC joint to the outside of the humerus. So I'm not going to be that picky with collimation for you guys on this. Because I know for me, at Methodist, it's going to be wide open. I want to see everything from here to here. But at other facilities, you're going to collimate tightly. So whatever your facility does for shoulders is what you can do for the collimation so you don't get confused. Okay? But again, I didn't really do much with the hand. It's still AP, right? There are 3 total projections, or actually 4 total projections on the AP shoulder. We're only going to shoot the AP that is in a natural position. In theory, we're supposed to rotate it inward, rotate it outward, and then do a reishi, AP opening, something like that. We'll talk about it over there. Okay, but for the lab assignment, just the AP. Okay, but you should be able to tell me which view will show me the greater supracolon profile. Okay.
Can I just see where it's centered?
Yeah.
Take a peek. Sorry.
All right. AP shoulder. Questions, concerns?
So is it just the AP external?
It's not even really an external. Just I can't even tell. It looks external when you put it on the view box because of the way the greater supracolon is displayed. Okay, but for the practicum, it'll just say AP shoulder. And when I say that, you just maybe, like I said, just elevate a little bit, but that's it. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Clavicle. Essentially, you stay just like this, and then you collimate to about 6 inches. Okay, and then for this, you're gonna center right on the clavicle. So again, here's the SC joint, here's the AC joint, mid clavicle. You can actually feel it. Okay, so you can put your finger right there.
Oops, sorry.
Man. And then that's it. AP clavicle. Okay. Dude, your markers are too big, man.
That's what I tried to make, that's 6 inches. 6 inches, it's enormous.
Look at that. Okay, AP clavicle. Questions, concerns? No? The other view for the clavicle will be your first axial view, okay? It'll be AP axial clavicle. You can angle anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees. I think 20 probably works the best for the room. Okay, and remember when you angle, I'm gonna slide this way.
Sorry.
You have to recenter to the tube, to the bucky, okay? Or else you will miss. Okay? You can collimate a little bit tightly because what we've increased our distance because we're angling, so now our collimation is large. So you can collimate back in, and again you're going to center right on the clavicle. Okay, AP axial clavicle. Good. All right.
How much you angle?
This is
20.
15 to
20.
20 to 30 is probably good. All that's going to do is going to project the clavicle up over the ribs. All right. Good.
You said 20 is ideal though?
20 to 20, yeah, anywhere between there. As long as I see it significantly up over the. Over the okay. And don't forget, when you angle it, you're gonna want to recenter. All right. So the last two. We're gonna do an AP scapula. Everything so far has been crosswise, except for the humerus, right? So we're gonna go back to lengthwise for these last two. Okay, so we're gonna go 10 by 12. And okay. On this one, you're gonna wanna very carefully eye back the arm 90 degrees. What that does is it pulls the shoulder away from the midline of the body. Okay? Yeah. Ignore the creaking. Then you're going to want to center about an inch above the shoulder with the outside of the light right at the joint. And where that looks like is it's about 2 inches distal from the mid clavicle. Okay, that is the AP scapula. Right? The last one is the scapular wide. You guys will all have to shoot this on the practicum. Guaranteed. Every single one of you. Okay? So this is the one that you want to master. Essentially, what you want to do, the notes say anywhere from 45 to 60 degrees of angulation. What you can do is you can actually feel for the back of the scapula. You can feel it up here. You might want to feel from this side. So this is the medial border of the scapula. This is the scapula, the angle, right? So this is where I'm putting my fingers. I'm rotating the body down until my fingers are perpendicular with the IR. Can I have that big sponge behind? Thank you. So once that's lined up, can you put a sandbag right in front for me? What that'll do is as you rotate the body, it'll keep the body from sliding forward. So you'll keep your angulation. So you just want to make sure that that's nice and perpendicular to the IR. Okay? And again, the advantage of having this is you can actually feel the lateral border of the scapula right here, and you can center right to it. Right about there. You just want to make sure that you have light field on top. Then you put your marker anywhere here. Okay?
A collimation, you don't want us to work
You can collimate someone on these. You'll see. But first, you're going to probably want to focus on getting the angulation right, and then kind of.
And then
You have 3 weeks to figure out your collimation. Okay. All right. Those are the 6 projections. In terms of technique, before when we were using the phantoms, you're shooting through plexiglass and bone. This is all just cushion and padding. So the techniques will be very different. Okay, I would say that your KB is going to be in the range of 40 to 50, no higher than that, and then your mass.
Less than the hand?
Because we're not shooting.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because we're not shooting through anything,
Gotcha.
right? I would start with 40 at 3 and kind of adjust your way up. Okay, make small adjustments. Don't go like from 40 to 50 KB right away. until you dial in your technique. And once you figure out your technique for say the humerus or whatever you start on, because this thing has the same density all the way through, it'll work for all of your whole body parts. Okay? You guys have any questions? Right now, 3 weeks to get 6 projections.